Senator the Honorable Jennifer Baptiste Primus, Minister of Labour and Small Enterprise Development, representative of High Commission and diplomats at the table, distinguished, I will speak to the distinguished panel after our opening. Heads of NGO, organization, and specially invited guests, members of the media, good morning. Good morning. It's a busy week in Trinidad. As most of you are aware, this week on March 8th is International Women's Day. And this whole week there are activities all over Trinidad. So that we are competing this morning with our launch. But nevertheless, for those of you brave the weather, brave the traffic, and still be here. So that it is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to all of you here this morning. Permit me to just make a few brief remarks on this launch this morning as I perform the role of moderator. And the guidelines being launched today is at the most opportune moment given the observance of International Women's Day 8th. The plethora of sexual harassment allegations leveled against some of the most powerful and well-known establishments and individuals in the world. This guideline is of immense importance because battling sexual harassment involves developing a deeper understanding of what sexual harassment is and requires a change of attitude in all, be it employer, employee, friend, colleague, or policymaker. I'm extremely pleased to announce that the Equal Opportunity Commission has prepared this guideline, which is based on a number of general principles of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is an extension of violence everyday life as it affects women's right and the very fabric of womanhood. While it appears that a message of intolerance and unacceptability concerning sexual harassment is certainly being heard in some workplaces in Trinidad and Tobago, this is woefully inadequate, as a majority of workplaces do not have a workplace policy on sexual harassment. This is a message that employers need to play a crucial role in promoting to gain further actions. It requires employers manage the prevention, incident, sexual harassment in their workplaces. The guidelines set simple and clearly what constitutes sexual harassment, how employers can be liable for sexual harassment, and how employers can avoid liability by taking all reasonable steps to prevent sexual harassment in their workplaces. It also includes helpful examples from the case law on sexual harassment and common workplace situations where sexual harassment may occur. Systematic guidance is formulating a written policy on sexual harassment. It also contains in the guidelines as well as how to establish formal and informal complaints processes for employees. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be remiss of me to neglect this final point I would like to make about sexual harassment in the workplace. No amount of legislation in the world will solve workplace sexual harassment. The the problem will persist. Ultimately, it is up to the employers to ensure that there is no place for sexual harassment in their workplaces. Employers set the tone. They determine the workplace culture. Prevention of sexual harassment is crucial for workplaces and the workforce, which prides itself on rewarding merit, refuses to tolerate discrimination, and foster gender equality. Prevention is a great deal more difficult than implementing grievance procedures. I hope that the publication launched today will provide the necessary guidance. This morning, we are privileged to have as one of our major partners the Minister of Labour, Enterprise Development, in our launch of this important document. And so you will understand her presence here, and we would like to have her bring greetings on behalf of the ministry. But before I want you to understand who is the senator, who is the honorable minister, and you would see how appropriate it is for us to have her here this morning. Senator Jennifer Baptiste Primus entered Parliament as a People's National Movement senator and was appointed the first member Minister of Labour and Small Enterprise Development on Friday, September 11, 2015. First female Minister of Labour. Know that. Senator Primus brings to the office of the Minister of Small Enterprise Development a wealth of experience in industrial relations and labor-related issues. As a retired president of the Public Services Association of Trinidad, he was the longest-serving elected officer from 1995 to 2000. Since the introduction of the one-man, one-vote system in 1981. To her credit, she was the first and only female executive president of the PSA when she was elected to the post in November of 1999, and remains the only female to have occupied such a position within the trade union movement. And I will have to remember that there's another trade unionist sitting on the panel who will correct me, but I recognize that she's a full assumption of the word. President of the PSA was at a crucial time for the union, as she worked assiduously with her executive to bring the PSA to a place where it was debt-free and strategically sound. While at the PSA, these primers played a pivotal role in fostering change in the local industrial relation climate. Notably, she's recognized for her roles in lobbying government to retain posts in the offensive, which addresses the taboo issue of rape in marriage. The implementation of programs for within the creation of academic which is to support the university and other tertiary institutions, and the representation of many public officers before the disciplinary tribunal of the Public Service Commission. Her training from Cipriani College of Labour and Cooperative Studies and Labour Studies and the George College USA in Industrial Relations, Leadership in Trade Union Organizing, Train the Trainers Program, Succession Planning, and I could go on and on. She's excited to execute the government's policies and plans in consultation with all stakeholders to ensure a consistent and peaceful industrial relation climate. EOC, the Opportunity Commission is pleased to have the Honourable Minister as a partner in as we move to bring about equality to all